funny how the story goes, little hope but bigger dreams. They try to bring a sucker down, singing louder than the crowd. Listen to the rhythm, I'm feeling brand new.
Welcome to Volkswagen ID.3 First Edition. What do you think about the looks of this car? It's quite futuristic, but I don't think without overdoing it. It looks quite cute, but then again, different horses for different courses. Okay, so we've got three battery sizes. I've got the middle one, which is 58 kilowatts. There are also three motors available, and I've got top of the range, which pumps 204 horsepower, 310 newton meters of torque. There are 7 trims available, and not everything goes with everything. But let's not get into that. But just to give you an idea about, so the cheapest trim, which is called Life, with this battery 58 kilowatts, will cost you £33,000 in the UK. The trim I have with me today, which is called First Edition, will set you off at £39,000. So safe to say, cheap it is not.
Sip me up like lemonade, we both know it's bittersweet. The siren-ness.
No, it is slippery, it is wet. The temperature is only 1.5 degrees, but it is also the time to give the ID.3 a gentle tug. As far as I'm concerned, there's no special procedure for launch control, so I'm just in the drive mode. I'm gonna put my foot on the brake, foot on the throttle, and let's see what you got for us today, Volkswagen. It's not what you call a rapid start, but let's give it a chance. Come on, Volkswagen. Well, YouTube seems to be a platform facilitating my own embarrassment. 8 seconds. There's only so much I can use in my defense. A slippery surface. After all, it is down to the driver. 8 seconds. Come on, Anna. Oh well, it is what it is. Let's cool our jets off. So the declared range is 426 kilometers. I'm driving this car as I would drive any normal car. However, no batshit crazy stuff today, no launch control. Having said that, I'm not nanning the throttle pedal either. The temperature is very low, about 0 degrees. So I've got climate control on. I'm driving this car in a congested city, on the motorway, but also on a B road like today. 426 kilometers. Well, Volkswagen, that was one big fat lie, because you're looking at a ballpark figure of about 300 kilometers. Why did you have to lie? It's not bad at all, Volkswagen. Come on, have some guts. You might be able to dry your tears and stretch this figure a little bit if you're driving exclusively bumper to bumper in a congested city, but 300 kilometers, it's not bad at all. Okay, let's check the boot space. We've got 385 liters, which is 5 liters more than in a Golf. Easy access in and out. Of course, you can fold the back seat to carry more clutter, and that's enough about the boot.
You know I met you in the dark, it was a Saturday night. Remember seeing you just dancing in the middle of the crowd.
Okay, and what about being a passenger in ID.3? So I've adjusted both front seats for my height, which is just over 1.7 meters, 5 feet 6, and I've got very good leg room, very good headroom. What about the third person? Actually, it's really good because the floor here is completely flat, despite batteries being under the floor. They've somehow managed. I'm impressed. Now, what's important to mention that the model with a larger battery, 77 kilowatt, now that is a strictly 2-seater because clearly they haven't managed that well. But I'm actually really impressed. Okay, let's have a look at the cabin. I like it actually. You can get different color combinations for your dash and for your steering wheel, which makes it a little bit quirky, a little bit more interesting. I've got this very bold and exciting color for my steering wheel. It's called black. The quality of the materials, the fit and finish is pretty good. Nothing squeaks, nothing wobbles, everything feels solid. Although some would argue that at this price point, the quality is a little bit, well, lackluster. I wouldn't necessarily disagree and I wouldn't necessarily agree. I'm just going to take a position of a woman and leave it at that. We've got this large touch screen, crisp, crystal clear, very good graphics. The system is actually lovely to use. Nothing complicated about it. It's very intuitive. I like it. As with all new Volkswagen models, we actually don't have physical knobs, physical switches for the climate control and audio control. I don't want to sound like a broken record. I don't want to sound like a whinging cow, but I'd like to see something a little bit more pronounced, especially for the hazard lights. I've got this touch button. You might be kind, you might be thanking somebody for letting you in on the road, but usually you're down the rabbit hole you might not be getting out of, and the hazard lights, well, you want to know when you press it actually. It is of course possible that these buttons are magnificent and I'm simply a complete and utter moron, unable to use them well. It is what it is. A lovely steering wheel. We've got these controls here. They are both swipe and they are press. And sometimes I wonder if you have to use both functions at the same time, because I don't seem to be getting it right. Volkswagen, please get this sorted. It's not working that well. Now I've got this petite digital display. It's small, but you get everything here that you need actually. I like it. Let's turn the vehicle on actually. As you would expect from Volkswagen, there's plenty of practicality and plenty of storage space, lots of pockets. In fact, this is a large bottle of water and I can fit inside this pocket and still have room left. I can fit it in here. I mean, this is perfect for women or simply people who carry a lot of clutter. Wireless mobile charging, another neat pocket. I like it. Now the seats, lovely color combination, this sort of cotton and Alcantara-ish, I'm not sure. I think it's Alcantara. They're very soft, very, very comfortable, good seating position. This is the lowest setting. I like to sit low. It's no sports car, but the adjustment range, you can really play with this. Back and forwards. In fact, I can stretch it so I can't even reach the pedals, and I'm 1.7 meters. Maybe I'm a midget after all. The same goes for the steering wheel. There's a massive adjustment range. It's very good for tall people. I mean, I think so. Should be all right. So we've got 4 windows in this vehicle. So we think 4 switches, but oh no, we've got 2 switches, because if you want to open the rear window, you have to press the touch button. Zack. And then when you want to open the front window, well, you have to switch this off, touch, oh, dearest God, there you go. I'm not so sure about that. Now, what else? Oh, before I forget, the ambient lighting. It's lovely, it's very subtle, very classy, beautiful on such a miserable winter day. You can of course change the color. You have different themes in here. What else you have? Look at that. Just like on an airplane that you won't be getting on anytime soon. An armrest. And if you're greedy for all the travel we haven't done, you can just use both. Ready to cruise. Now, speaking of seats, so the seats have a sensor in it. So when you open the vehicle, you put your lovely button in here, the car knows you are here and you don't actually have to turn it on. All you have to do is pop it into D mode. I initially have thought, why would you put the start-stop button in here? It was hideous, but it's not, because that is exactly the reason. And the same goes for leaving the car. When you basically pop it into park, you don't have to do anything else, you just have to leave and the car will switch itself off. How neat is that? Overall, I think with the cabin Volkswagen, they've done a very good job. So this car is very relaxing, very pleasant to drive. Of course, it is quiet, although there is some noise coming from the tires, but it's not a big deal at all. The suspension manages to absorb most of the big bumps and imperfections on the road. Although the suspension is stiffer, it is harder than in a regular Golf. Well, the ride would have been much peachy if not those big fat batteries. This car weighs 1.8 tons, so it ain't a thin, small cookie. The batteries are mounted very low, so we have a low center of gravity to stop the leaning, and the mission has certainly been accomplished because this car handles very well. There's very little leaning. The steering is nice and light. It's not emotional, don't expect some crazy maneuvers, but it suits this car perfectly. So technically this is a rear-wheel drive car because the motor is fitted at the back, but don't get carried away, this is no sports car. This car drives like a regular front-wheel drive family hatchback. Having said that, when you put your foot down, it picks up rather nicely. It's got some punch, this car. And everything is happening in such a smooth manner. Now the brakes are rather on the gentle side, so slam it, don't be shy. So more often than not, I've been driving what's so-called the B mode, which is the recuperation, more efficient mode available here. Essentially what will happen, the car will slow down for you without you having to use the brake pedal. All, of course, to save the battery. Now, if I compare this mode to the recuperation mode in Mercedes EQC, for example, there are two, in fact, the lighter and the more intense. The more intense in Mercedes is very, very aggressive. I mean, the car will essentially keep braking and braking, and it really start to get on your nerves before you even have a chance to get used to it. Here, it's a bit more intelligent. It's much, much smoother. Then again, I don't know how much it's saving on battery really, because the results are, oh dear. Right, let's test the voice command. Hey ID.
What would you like to do?
Find me a fish restaurant.
Search for fish restaurant nearby. Please select a POI from the list.
Very good. Impressive. On to the next. Hey ID.
What can I do for you?
My bottom is cold.
Please repeat.
My bottom is cold.
This calls.
You dirty little bugger. Cold bottom and you're gonna call somebody. Anyway, it's a bit of a gimmick. It works sometimes and sometimes it doesn't. Now the turning circle in this car is very good. It's over 10 meters. Just to give you an idea, it's actually better than in Tesla Model 3. So it's very to maneuver this car in town, in and out of car parks, no problems at all. Now the visibility here is very good. The front here is like a little glass house. You've got this extra window here, so you see everything there is to see. The rear window, well, it's on the smaller side because it's a hatchback, but it's still absolutely okay.
Can't get enough. I've lost you.
In terms of charging, in Poland we've got fast chargers, well, not that fast, 40 kilowatts, and it will take well over 1 hour to charge up to 80% of the battery. This car has got the capacity to be charged at 100 kilowatts, but it doesn't really matter because we don't have such fast chargers. Well, perhaps they'll build them one day, or perhaps the politicians will move on to the next thing. You never know. My final thoughts on ID.3, I think it's a very sensible electric car choice. It's a very good all-rounder, and I actually have enjoyed it very much. And that's it for today. Thank you so much for watching, and I shall see you all next time. Bye!